Vert Testers, back again on another performance review. This is Duke4005. This time I've got a shoe that's a little different than what I normally enjoy to play in, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. It's the Nike Hyperposite 2. I have to give big shout outs to Nike for floating these my way. I know it's a little bit late, but what can you do? There's still a killer shoe for some, not for others, but we'll get into that in the review. I've put a couple of weeks in these already, and let's just say they're interesting. They're very interesting. So let's get ready into it and figure out if this is for you. Okay, like always, the first thing we get into is the materials. And like I said, these things are built like a tank. I mean, it's posite upper everywhere. All of this metallic green you see is posite. It is thick, it is solid. It is just, I put 2 weeks into these things and you can see there's no scuffs, there's no creases, a little bit here in the midsole, but otherwise this upper looks brand new. I mean, it's for all you crease fiends out there with all your shoe protectors and your toe protectors and all of that. If you're worried about creases, this is the shoe for you. With that being said, it does make the upper stiff, so if you're looking for ultimate mobility, this is not the shoe for you. But again, it's not built for you. It's built for big man, it's built for playing the post, it's built for rough and tumble, and this shoe will stand up. Now the interior, you got your neoprene inner booty here that's connected to the shell at this point and down through the shoe. And honestly, this is one of the best neoprene booties I've ever worn. It's very thick, as you can see in the tongue right here. It's very solid. Makes the shoe, it really makes it comfortable to wear, which with this much foamposite on it is a surprise. Normally it's very thick. Moving from the materials down into the cushioning, we've got full length 360 zoom, which is a joy. I mean, zoom is already one of the best cushionings, and when you put a full length unit on it like this, it just ups it so much more. The one thing this full length does for you fans of the LeBron 10, you know, makes this midsole very stiff. I mean, I'm trying to bend the shoe right now, and you can see my hand shaking trying to bend it. There's no flexibility in the forefoot and the midsole whatsoever, which led to a very, I won't say sloppy transition, because when you have one cushioning system like this throughout the shoe, the transition is usually pretty smooth. I will say it's not the quickest. If you're a guard looking, you know, change of direction, get out on the break and run and come off of cuts and screens, you're not going to find much help in this shoe. Now, if you're a postman in the post battling back to the basket, or you know, face up mid-range, drive around your guy, it can't be beat. It's great. It's one of the best setups out there. It makes the shoe very stable. There is no threat of rollover in this shoe whatsoever. We'll get to that a little bit more in the stability, but the midsole itself, the cushioning, cannot be beat. It's A1. With the materials of the shoe being so stiff, I was really worried about the fit. I shouldn't have. It fits true to size. There's just a little bit of room here at the front toe of the toe on my normal 10.5, which is the way I like it. It's about a finger's width. The shoe laces up. This cage comes over your foot and locks you into the shoe completely. There is no threat whatsoever of any kind of movement in this shoe. The ankle collar here is really high. It comes up high on your ankle, but it does wrap nicely. They've cut this window out here to make the foamposite a little bit more flexible where it'll wrap, and that really does help. Of course, the neoprene booty here takes up any kind of room that you had in the shell of the shoe, and it's, I mean, front, back, side to side. Hey, that's a song. That you're locked in completely. You're not going anywhere. So fit is definitely tops in this shoe. And we'll move from the cushioning and the 360 zoom, which I love again. We'll go down to the traction, which this is the most surprising part of this shoe for me. Just walking around in my house, the shoe was squeaking. Once I got it on court, it's solid as can be. You can see the rubber here the grooves are really thick. They're flat. I mean, the shoe, actually, it's a little bit concave in the forefoot. You can see it bends in here in the middle, right through here. It sinks into the shoe. I'm not sure why that is, and you can't really feel it while you're playing in it or wearing it, but I thought that was a really funny trait on this. But the traction itself, I mean, from a guard standpoint, it was great. From a big man standpoint, playing down low, I can't believe it would be any different. The rubber is not too soft, So you're probably good playing outdoors on these for a little while. I wouldn't guarantee it, but I would think you'd be good for a few months at least on these playing outdoors. Just be careful you don't wear through that bottom too quick and expose this 360 unit. But I mean, traction is fantastic. As unsmooth as the shoe was in transition, trying to get out as far as the flexibility point, the traction could not be beat in changing directions and coming off screens and playing on-ball defense. I mean, it's squeaky, it's good, and it's one of the things I really like is the way they've segmented the pods here, and that may have a lot to do with the way this shoe really digs into the floor. Okay, I said earlier in the earlier segment we would get into support, and here we go. This is the absolute strong point of this shoe's support, which you could probably guess from a Foamposite based shoe would be the strong point. You wouldn't be wrong. Like I said, this Foamposite is very thick. It's very solid. It's not very pliable at all. It hasn't broken into my foot at all in the 2 weeks I've been wearing it, which is not a bad thing because it fit well from the start. I'm old enough to have had the Foamposite 1 and Foamposite Pro when they came out, and one of the things I hated about that shoe was it took so long. The theory behind Foamposite is it gets hot and molds to your foot while you're playing. Now my rebuttal to that was, well, what does it do when it's cold and not playing? But once you wore them for a couple of weeks, they molded to your foot and they were pretty much perfect. These not so much, but they're not solid like that Foamposite Pro was. They've got the cutouts here to allow for some flexibility, and that really makes the Foamposite fit perfectly when you try them on the first time. It's cut high enough on the ankle here. I know high cut doesn't always mean ankle support, but these being solid like they are, they're not Ectio solid, but they're the next best thing. So if you can't find Ectio in your area and you've got weak ankles and you really need a shoe with super support, this is the one for you. Being the 360 bag in the midsole, I was worried about some stability on that side. I'm not really a fan of like Air Max because they're so unstable, but this midsole was great. It was perfect. The outrigger here runs the full length of the forefoot. It's one of the biggest outriggers I've seen as far as length and size, not really sticking out, but it's pretty big sticking out too. Just standing still, I tried my little foot rollover test where you try to see if your ankle will, where the tipping point is on the shoe, where your ankle will roll. I didn't get one in this shoe, which is really unusual for a shoe with a exposed midsole airbag like this. So stability wise, again, the heel cup is all one Foamposite piece that rolls into the ankle. You are locked in, you're not going anywhere. You are super stable. So that about wraps up my time in the Hyperposite 2 from Nike. Again, thank you Nike Basketball, you know who you are. If you're looking, was it a shoe for me? No. Did I personally enjoy playing in it? At times I did. There's certain factors of this shoe that I really enjoyed. The full length cushioning being one, or the 360 zoom. The fit was fantastic, but it's not a shoe that's meant for me. It's a shoe that's meant for players like Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, some of you bigger guys in the gyms that go in and fight for rebounds. You know who you are. If you enjoy back to the basket or even just face up from a mid-range and you need that ultimate stability, that ultimate support, and a little more cushioning for your size, this is a fantastic shoe. It really is. Again, the inflexibility in the midsole, it just never broke in for me, but again, it's not supposed to. I know there's not shoes that are made specifically for a guard that only guards can wear, or a post that only post players can wear. Any player can wear any shoe, but know what you're getting when you buy it. That's why we're here. That's why we're trying to help you guys out. So if you're looking for ultimate flexibility and speed and getting up and down the floor, this is probably not the shoe for you. Aging ballers, I mean, like myself, nobody's getting younger, right? If you need a little extra cushioning in this, a little more support for your ankles, check the shoe out, man. It's right there. I think it's priced at $225, but I think I've seen that dropping at some places. That may be a little high for some of you, so if it keeps you playing longer because it supports your knees and ankles a little bit better though, is it worth it? That's up to you. I can't make your decisions for you. So again, if you're looking for ultimate support, fit, cushion, definitely check this shoe out. Okay, right now the sun's out in Texas again after 6 months of rain. It's time for some summer ball. It's time to hit the playgrounds, and I'll probably bring this shoe with me. Till next time, thanks, wear testers.